Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you, my friends. This is the RR Show, and I'm your host, Vince. We've got some fabulous stuff for you today. I think we got 5 TIFU stories, and as always, if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the show, share it with a friend, and let's jump into the RR Show right now. Posted by user small, medium, and large. TIFU by using the bathroom at my date's house. I think we all know where this was going. I've been talking to this guy for about a month, so everything is very new, and we are still getting to know one another. I also recently underwent a huge storm in my area, so I couldn't actually use my bathroom very frequently for like the past 3 days. He invites me over as he's got power back before I did, and we haven't seen each other in about 2 weeks between the storm, life, travels, etc. I go over, everything's fine, we get dinner, have a good time, and then we start to kinda reel it in for bed. I go to the bathroom, and I go to shower and prep, if you will, for potential nighttime festivities. And prep I did. Evidently, a different type of festivities. See, those 3 days really smacked me all of a sudden, and there was no turning back. I figure, hey, first time for everything. A girl's gotta go and a girl's gotta go. I mustered the courage to overcome my anxiety using the toilet outside of my home. Mission accomplished. No, well, sometimes you need a twofer, right? Maybe he didn't hear that first flush anyway. The toilet gurgles at me in a laughably cruel way. No dice, okay. Not the end of the world. Surely this guy has a plunger. No, not on the floor, not on the cabinet. I run out to the kitchen. Maybe he's got one of those weird kitchen plungers. No. He's in the shower in the other bathroom. I wait for him sheepishly to finish up. It's been a minute though, maybe, just maybe the bathroom gods will have mercy on me. The third flush will really just send my demon to its jail in hell. Third flush. The toilet now roars at me as it bubbles up way too quickly and begins to overflow everywhere and flood the bathroom. Mercifully, just clean water, as the monster was stuck down in the belly of the beast. My shower towel is a casualty in the battle. I try and fail to catch the waterfall of toilet water with it, and it's soaked through now, and there is standing water around the basin. I'm panicking, holding back tears as I realize I now have to directly ask this man for a plunger and somehow clean his bathroom, which I have successfully demolished. He finishes showering, and instead of approaching the situation with any sense of normalcy, I panic and say, hey, just lay down. I'm going to grab something from your master bathroom I think I need. He does so. He's so sweet. No plunger. My life is flashing before my eyes. I now finally cave and ask, hey, do you have a plunger? No. The tears are involuntary as I laugh, cry at him, begging him not to help me. I mop and clean his entire bathroom while forcing him to stay in the bedroom. The bathroom is clean, the toilet has drained enough to seem as though nothing has happened. I cannot calm down, he knows something has happened. I told him I flooded it, but not how. I'm sure he can piece it together. There are no nighttime festivities. I'm too mortified to even look him in the eyes. The morning comes, my dignity's crushed, and it's palpable. We part ways. He is still kind as ever and trying to laugh the situation off. I get home. I get a text. I'm headed to the hardware store to get a plunger after flooding the bathroom again. Who knew I needed one? Please. Please, just kill me now. Our second story also comes from r/TIFU from Half Off Soup. TIFU by reinstalling Cooking Fever. Recently, I've been really getting into playing mobile games. I don't know what it is about them, but they're mesmerizing to me. The buggier and more ad-riddled they are, the better. So there I was, all ready for bed, and the game I was playing stopped letting me progress unless I paid money. I had run through all of my games already, so I opened up the App Store to look for a new one. I saw some Papa's games and had a vague memory of the logo of a cooking game that I played back in the day. It was one of the first ones that popped up when I searched cooking games. I instantly remembered what it was, Cooking Fever. I was wondering why I ever stopped playing it. I had been on and off addicted as a kid, repeatedly uninstalling and reinstalling Cooking Fever, and I couldn't remember why. I remember the gameplay and how fun it was, so I reinstalled it. The Play Store app I use gave me a warning that the game might not work on certain devices or may stop working depending on my device, but honestly, my Android has never let me down, so I installed it anyways. I was instantly mesmerized. I sat on my bed, grilled cheese forgotten, for an hour straight, grinding Cooking Fever. Right as I was getting into the flow of the game, I start getting less than 3 stars in each level. I bought a power-up and it didn't help. I was out of money. No worries. I thought, I'm good at this game. I spent another 20 minutes trying to brute force my way through because I refused to pay real money for digital coins. I locked in so hard. Right as I'm about to beat the level, the whole app crashes and refuses to reopen. I had to restart my phone. Every time I open the app, it crashes and restarts my phone. I try one more time and it crashes on the loading screen with the little chef character. I cannot get the phone to power off or reset. I have to let the battery run out and then start it again. That stupid chef with her bob is burned into my phone screen. You kidding me? I can't believe I keep forgetting how much I hate Cooking Fever. Our third story is posted by user Selenium. TIFU by poisoning myself from nuts. Obligatory, not today, but recently for the past 2 months, I've been dealing with a host of random health issues. Being in my mid-20s and always having an easy time with my health, it was honestly super strange. I had the distinct thought, damn, this is what 24 is like, huh? The symptoms included diarrhea, difficulty breathing, headaches, difficulty sleeping, difficulty thinking, and worst of all was an awful rash that started on every joint and would constantly be flaring up painfully every day. I genuinely struggled with work in a way I hadn't in months, and these symptoms lasted 2 months. The main symptom that really grabbed me was the rash, and as such, I got lotion on it since it kind of looked like dry skin. After 2 weeks of no progress, I moved on to an over-the-counter cream for antifungal and hydrocortisone. While the cortisone did help with the itch, it did nothing to stop the painful spread of the infection. After that, I went to my pharmacist and got more creams, thinking that would help, and they did not. It wasn't until another week after trying those creams, almost 2 months from the onset of symptoms, that I figured out what was going on from the most unlikely place. I don't watch Dr. House, but occasionally on YouTube Shorts, I will be recommended clips from the show. During the clip that engrossed me on the toilet, Dr. House was chastising another doctor for not realizing the difference between Brazil and Bolivia, and that their patient was suffering from selenium poisoning from Brazil nuts. Turns out that the maximum amount of selenium that an adult should take in before having signs of toxicity is only 400 micrograms a day. Each nut has roughly 100 micrograms of selenium. I was eating 12 a day because I had heard that they were good for testosterone production, and the Trader Joe's bag I bought had a serving size of a quarter cup, which is over the healthy limit. Now, a few days after of no longer putting nuts in my mouth, I feel loads better, and most of my symptoms have largely disappeared. I'm honestly making this post to hopefully save others from the same mistake, and to bring attention to the issue. I have a hard time that Trader Joe's suppliers who grow these for a living don't know the present and real danger that the food possesses if eaten more than 2 to 3 nuts a day. I tried to give them feedback on the product to help them improve, but they've ignored my request for a week now, and I thought others should know. Continuing in this r/TIFU episode, story from Read It Man. TIFU by telling the maintenance man what I do for a living. I recently moved into a new apartment and was having trouble with my washing machine, so the maintenance man came over to take a look. I happened to have my work computer open, and as he was leaving, he saw I was working in an Adobe program. He asked what I do for a living, and I told him I'm a graphic designer. He immediately got very excited and asked if I could hold on while he went to grab his phone. My first thought was that he was going to ask if I could make something for him, which is something I'm used to, but instead he comes back and starts explaining that his daughter is currently going to school for graphic design. I said that's awesome, and he asked if I could do him a favor and wait a moment while he called her. I said yeah. This is where things got messy. There was already a bit of a language barrier going on because he isn't fluent in English. So I wasn't really able to ask why he wanted to call her, but I assumed he was just oddly excited to tell her that he had met another graphic designer. Not the case. What he actually wanted was for me to speak with her. Some background info. I'm a recent college graduate myself and have only been in the field for a couple of years. I'm also very socially awkward. He calls her, says some things in Spanish that I assume was something along the lines of, I met someone who's a graphic designer. And then he proceeds to hand me the phone. Thrown off guard, I reluctantly take it, and on the other end is a very confused girl who sounded about the same age as me and was definitely fluent in English. We both had no idea what was happening. I don't know what her father thought we were going to discuss, but the exchange that followed was a series of awkward hellos and mumbled confusion as I tried to ask what he wanted me to say to her. He just kept gesturing and said, talk with her, but I wasn't prepared or comfortable talking about a job I'm new to myself, and it was obvious from her voice that she was also uncomfortable. So I just said, I'm sorry, and gave the phone back. Her father seemed to finally realize he had created a very uncomfortable situation, thanked me, and then left. I'm still cringing at how awkward I was. Our final story in this TIFU episode comes from the Windows 95 Nerd. TIFU by sleeping at the gate. So it was nighttime, and I had a short 1-hour flight for some errands. I arrived at the airport early too, and mostly relaxed, and I crashed around the area, especially after going through TSA. However, I did not get enough good sleep the night prior, as I had so much work on my plate. Since I was off work, I mostly relaxed and used my laptop, treating it as a nice evening/night to unwind, as there was not much going on during the week for me. Closer to the boarding time, I arrived at the gate and took a seat to wait to board my flight. Now, usually I am good about waking up right when my boarding group is called, and so when the urge to nap came, I started napping, being completely forgetful of the fact that I was already exhausted and that I'm at a quiet terminal. I then woke up at the airport to find my gate was empty, and then checked the time to see that the time was 30 minutes past the departing time of my flight. Now, had this been an international flight, I probably would have been panicking, but luckily it wasn't. I wasn't exactly going to go through the hassle of trying to get a flight rebooked with a gate agent for something that was my own fault. So I had simply booked a last-minute flight that was 8 hours later in the morning, which was not that expensive, and it was even with the same airline. I ended up continuing to sleep at the airport as a result of internally face palming myself over the extreme stupidity of what I had done, and then woke up a bit earlier to prepare to board for my new flight. This time, finally made it, and I was on my way. Surprisingly, my return flight was not canceled for being a no-show for the original outbound flight, and I was even able to board and go on my way back home on the original return flight. And funny enough, I ended up just sleeping for most of the flight and woke up just in time for descent. But yeah, still was rather perplexed by my own stupidity, and definitely will probably be putting various alarms right around boarding time, just in case I snooze off. So thanks for being with us. The RR Show is a production of Evergreen Podcasts and Wessler Media. Now, if you'd be so kind, please follow or subscribe to our show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're feeling extra nice, you might as well leave a 5-star review. But for more, visit the website, rrshow.com. That is rrshow.com. I'm your host, Vince. Thank you to my producer, Kevin, and we'll see you next time here on The RR Show.